Good morning, kids. I hope you're all doing well. We have a special guest this morning on Morning Tea with Miss Lucas. This is Kian.
Hello, everyone.
And we are drinking tea, and at the time of recording, it is still the morning, so I know this might be posted in the afternoon, but it's still morning tea with Miss Lucas, but we also got Kian. So, Kian, what kind of tea are you drinking?
I am drinking Earl Grey tea because I need some caffeine.
I noticed the K on the mug. It's
Yes.
for Kian. I've got my Yosemite mug, and I have some plain black tea. I've got a different strainer today. It's like this antique thing. It's kind of like a spoon that you could just like pinch stuff with it. So, Kian, how has this global pandemic been treating you?
It's been treating me okay. So
Do you have to go into work?
Not lately. So I'm a medical student, and they dismissed the M3 and M4 students from the hospital because they were worried that we would spread the infection. And since we don't actually practice independently, they just sent us home. So I'm home until April 12th.
So what are you doing while you're home?
So we still have exams, and so I'm studying for those. I'm on radiology right now, so I'm just studying via like textbooks and case studies and doing practice questions and stuff like that. But now I feel like I have a little bit more time to go exercise. So I've been going on runs outdoors and stuff like that, trying to make more time for hobbies.
Like what kind of hobbies?
Oh, funny that you asked.
It's not like I know or anything.
I've been doing some more drawing, and so I've been just doing pen and paper drawings lately. So.
Can you show us some of your work?
Yep. So.
Yup. He conveniently had his notebook right here.
Because.
I think he was just excited to share.
So I drew this guy running.
Ooh. Was that inspired by your recent bouts of increased exercise?
Not really.
Oh, wait. Can anyone guess who? Don't give it away, Kian. Guys, 3 seconds to guess. Anyone know who this is? As an English teacher, and I hope you guys would know this. We have read some of his stuff, all of my students. Kian, who is it?
It's Edgar Allan Poe.
Edgar Allan Poe.
So I drew a little portrait of him.
Very spooky stuff.
Yeah.
And when did you make those drawings?
A couple days ago.
And what do you like about drawing?
It's relaxing. Like, these are not like really tough drawings. They're like just pen and paper, and it's not like too detailed. Like, I didn't draw too many facial features on his face, so it's like pretty easy. And then like with the Edgar Allan Poe, is like so much just like dark areas, so I could just like, I don't know, it's kind of soothing just to like fill in white space with dark ink. So it's kind of soothing, and it gives me something to do when I have free time.
What words of wisdom would you give to one of my students if they were interested in trying drawing during this weird online learning period?
Start off easy, and like don't try to draw like hands or like detailed drawings of faces, because you just get intimidated, and it's so hard. So start out with something easy. Maybe look for some I usually find inspiration on Instagram. I just find like artists that I like following, and I try to copy their art. So it's fun.
Very cool. Thank you. All right, one other piece from Kian, folks. We've got a special holiday in the house that many of you probably don't know about. It is not a holiday that I would say most Americans celebrate. Would you say that's true?
I would definitely say that.
All right, what is the holiday, and why is it so great?
It's Nowruz, so it's the Persian New Year. I think the Persian New Year officially started at 11:45 last night, and the Persian New Year is called Nowruz. It is the biggest holiday in Iran. It's a national holiday, so it's not like associated with any sort of religion or anything like that. It's a very old Iranian holiday, and the day of the holiday is the first day of spring, so it's like signifying the start of spring and like, growth and freshness. So typically families will like clean out their house, like do spring cleaning, and then you'll have a big celebration with all your family, and then the older relatives will give money out to the younger kids. But this year, with all the coronavirus stuff, like usually my parents host a big family get together, but we're not really doing that because you don't want that many people in one place. So, and then you have a traditional meal of fish with like a salmon usually, or a white fish with like an herb rice dish called sabzi polo. So it's kind of like the basics. It's a fun holiday.
So instead of the party last night at the New Year, Kian had to wake me up because I had already fallen asleep like a lame-o.
Yeah.
And he had to wake me up and tell me to put on a nice outfit because we were gonna go on a Zoom call, which is Zoom is a video chatting platform that's free, and his uncle had set up a call with how many people?
Yeah, way too many people. It was just constant, like...
No one had their
It wasn't
microphones on mute, so it was just like, hello, happy New Year. Like, everyone was talking all at once, and it was
really
just like, it was cute.
But it was nice.
Yeah, it was cute to see everyone, but it was hard to talk. So, too bad that we didn't get to have the normal big party New Year bash that your parents throw.
Yeah. Yeah.
But one thing I like about this holiday is I didn't know anything about it before I met Kian or started to be friends or, be in a relationship with him. But one thing I like about it a lot is that it makes sense to me to have the New Year at the start of springtime, because when we have our like classic American New Year on January 1st, it's middle of winter and everything is dead, and there's no new life in the natural world at that time, at least on our part of the globe with the seasons. And it makes sense to me to have a New Year celebration at the beginning of spring, because that's when I feel like the natural world and plants and animals are all starting to kind of celebrate their new year of like coming out of hibernation, and things are blooming and growing and changing a lot. So I think that's really cool. It's one thing I like a lot about that holiday.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, right now it's getting warmer, so
Yeah,
you
like
can
almost
kind of
80 degrees.
get outside, and we did some like gardening and stuff yesterday, and cleaned out a bunch of leaves yesterday. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good time for a holiday.
Yeah, and spring cleaning, you said this, right? Like spring
Yeah.
cleaning is kind of like a tradition with the Persian New Year, and again, that kind of makes sense with the New Year too, because you start fresh, so you clean your house and get ready for something new. And so we did a lot of that yesterday in the yard, so that felt good. Get some sun.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I think we wanted to end our segment with a little poem, and this is a book. It's called Goat in the Snow by Emily Petit. And was it our first Christmas together?
Yeah.
This was our first Christmas together. So we started dating in 2014, end of October, beginning of November, and that was our first Christmas together. And it was like our first gift exchange. He thought he was done. And Kiel got me this book of poetry because he knows that I love it, and we had already taken poetry classes together as friends when we were in school. So it was a very thoughtful gift. And there's one poem in here that I wanted to read. It's called How to Be Alone in a Shape. And a lot of her poems look like this, where it's kind of like a fat column, just so you know what it looks like. And this is the one I'm reading. I do what I was going to do anyways. I do it all day. A neat and foreign spider. I don't have any trees though. There's this idea about feeling good every day. Someone says, you've got to be pleased and satisfied. Some birds have rhythm. Someone found a 35,000-year-old flute. Music I cannot make, drugs I cannot make. When fear is not a set shape, I do what I was going to do. I do it all day. There are efforts, though, to stop the errors of thinking and doing. Hidden in the angles are ideas I have about gravity following different rules. I think, what are the action opportunities? Like get dedicated. Here's an inventory of operating systems. Insight, insects, assembling all pieces of anything you can find. And it is easy to say things. It is harder to mean things. Build a pyramid. Have no idea why. So her poems are strange, and sometimes it feels like she's throwing in random images or objects into her poem. Did you get that sense, Kian? I'm sure you're listening very closely while I was reading. Just like all my students listening very closely. And to be honest, I don't feel like I have a solid grasp on what this poem is about. But I liked what it came to at the end, where she's talking about what are the action opportunities, get dedicated, assembling all pieces of anything you can find. And it's kind of like just throwing yourself into a task and putting forth effort. Because she says it's easy to say things, it's harder to mean things. I wonder why she didn't say it's the hardest to do things, right? Like walk the walk versus talk the talk. But that's kind of what it meant to me, is like having follow through and like trying in your life rather than settling for things that are easy. And when we don't go through personal challenges, we don't know who we can become or like what our limits are. And I think that's probably one of the most exciting things about being human. Not to get really deep with it or anything, but any closing thoughts, Kian? This is your moment.
Nothing about the poem, but yeah.
You said it all when you just gave it to me as a gift. So.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, Kian, cheers to morning tea.
Cheers.
Everyone, have a great weekend. Happy Friday, even though it doesn't really feel like a Friday. I'll have some new stuff coming out for you guys in terms of actual coursework and school-related things on Blackboard on Monday. So stay tuned. Don't forget your assignments due Sunday.
Get pumped.
Get pumped. Over and out. Love you guys.